All right, welcome in, Sagittarius. My name is Abby. I'm the Oddest Oracle, and I'm here to do a reading for you today. I've been sitting with your energy most of the weekend. Actually, it started really coming in even after I finished the Pisces reading last week, and so it feels like there is some kind of truth coming in that you can't see, which for me feels paradoxical. Like almost stereotypically, Sagittarius has a bit of an obsession with the truth. So I'm curious because it feels like there is pushback on like I don't really want to see this. I don't want to be aware of this, and that's okay. If you're not in a place where you want to hear something that could be uncomfortable, then you should go ahead and go. We don't need to get activated by a tarot reader on YouTube. But if you're at a place where you think you can deal with it, then I invite you to stay, regardless of where you have Sagittarius in your chart. I think there will be something here for you. And I have a tarot spread called the Anti-Hero Tarot Spread, because we're going to see where we messed up today. Okay? So we're going to get some charms out first. These charms should let you know if this reading is for you or help you assign synchronicity to it. We're just going to get some out here. How you doing, Sag? It's your season. It seems like a tough time to be having all of these revelations. Live, laugh, love, Sagittarius. Live, laugh, love. We have hope, namaste, and hope again. We have a moon and a star. The letter A, an angel, candy cane, a dragon, and a star, again with the moon. So with these, the stars and the moon and the kind of the energy around this reading, it's really feeling like the moon, right? There's something maybe in the shadow or something that's just out of your eye line, but that thing also contains some amount of healing for you and kind of a new beginning in its own way. So I'm going to turn down this music a little bit. We're just going to go ahead. This is a 6-card spread. The spread is written by Light Wands. I've used their spreads before on my channel. I encourage you to follow them if that's something you're into. And it's a 6-card spread that kind of dissects a conflict from your perspective and doesn't shy away from finding out where we could do better, where we've made some mistakes. All right. So I'm just going to get the cards out and then we'll go through them together. Anything that happens during a reading is part of the reading. As I said before, and I feel the need to say this twice this time, I don't know what's going to come through in this reading, but it feels like parts of my ego are rubbing up against parts of Sagittarius ego, maybe. Or it's not that it's not that this energy doesn't want the truth. It feels like it's imbued in you. And it's not that they don't even want to hear it from me. It's almost like how do I feel about that? I'm trying to put this into words. It's almost like well, that's fair. You're not sure if you want to hear it from me. And that's fine. You don't know me. This card's going to go here. We're going to cover that up. I know. It's a bit of a faux pas. And we're going to do another layer. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So, Sagittarius, let's get out. Number 1, the central issue or conflict within a connection. I'd like to remind you that a connection can be any noun, right? Person, place, thing, idea, part of yourself, car you don't like. We'll just start there. Okay. Oh, car you don't like. That's interesting. All right. The central issue and the conflict within this connection. The World and the Two of Wands. So you've made a decision not to end something, or something has not ended and that has taken your decision away. Right now it looks like it could be both, right? Okay. The World and the Two of Wands in reverse. The energy contributed to the conflict that was not yours. This is not your energy, or I'm hearing not your fault. This is not your fault, okay? We have the Ace of Pentacles and the Three of Pentacles. So this is not an issue with energy or showing up tangibly. or an issue with teamwork, is what I'm getting off of this. The energy contributed to the conflict that was yours, right? So we'll be able to compare not yours and then yours. Excuse me, not fearlessly taking new beginnings and not connecting, right? On an emotional level. A way in which the conflict was avoidable. Some healing and some new perspective. Okay. A way to learn or improve from the part of the conflict that you contributed to. Don't worry, we're going to clarify. I feel like I can hear somebody being like, you're not going deep enough. We will, one step at a time. The conflict was avoidable by, well, coming out of an energy of shame or, oh, that's interesting. Six of Pentacles in reverse. Giving less. This seems to be a theme. Giving less and sitting in your Empress energy. And number 6, forgiveness toward yourself in its healthiest, most productive form looks like Four of Swords and the Tower. These reversals are interesting because I almost don't want to read them, which, I mean, happens. Like, when you read tarot, you should use your own intuition, and maybe this is a message for somebody out there who's interested in tarot. Like, you should learn the rules of tarot, like the classic rules, so that you can break them properly. Because at the end of the day, the guidebook says something, and there's truth there, but you're reading the cards. So your intuition and your experience has to come in too. Okay, we'll leave that. So, let's see. The choice is made, and it is done. What wasn't yours was like, this feels like showing up money issue. So you were there. You were invested, and you were a teammate. Regardless of whatever else happened, you weren't perfect, but you were invested. You were invested, but you were invested materially, right? Like, you put down your roots. You, in a sense here, this put down your roots is a very specific phrase because it doesn't actually correlate with these cards, like in the Rider-Waite parlance, if you will. But this is definitely, right? We're talking pentacles. We're talking earth side. We're talking tangible, visible material. So there's an investment here. There's an investment of teamwork, right? We're traveling down this road. But there's also not an investment, right? There's not an emotional investment here. And there's no risk. So that's great that you invested materially, but your heart wasn't in it. Your heart wasn't in it. Okay. I'm feeling guided. Clarify this. Let's clarify. Go to the first pile again. I know we're skipping around, Sag, but I believe that you can keep up. You are Sagittarius after all. Pretty quick. All right, the central issue. Let's clarify the central issue within this connection. Matter of fact, excuse me, Spirit, give me a card on the energy of the connection that we're talking about. Okay, I want to finish, but that was the Ace of Wands. Okay, so maybe something you're passionate about, maybe a creative project, maybe an intimate relationship that was really intense. Remember that intensity doesn't equal alignment. It doesn't necessarily mean, also, alignment doesn't mean forever. Interesting. Okay. Give me a card on the connection, Spirit. Let's talk about this connection that ended after Sag made a decision. Okay, I've got 2 here. The Lovers and the Devil. Yeesh. All right, Sagittarius. Okay. We definitely have a type of contract, which is funny because when I was asking the question of the cards, instead of connection, I was starting to say contract. So we have the Lovers card here. This could be actual love. This, again, could be just a noun. It's something you are in relationship to, okay? And it was, or is, depending on where you are in the timeline, it was the, I want to say carnal, which I always think about with the devil, but it's the, this is pleasing to my flesh, is what I'm hearing. Now, again, that doesn't have to be like actual intimacy or sex or whatever. This can be an addiction to a substance or to a food or to a thought form or to a version of yourself, right? I'm feeling this as a relationship with an external thing, which is still a relationship with ourselves, yes. But for simplicity's sake and the ability to understand, like, you're in relationship with an external thing, person, place, whatever. And tell me more about this. 21 may mean something. Judgment. You called judgment, which is okay. Why is the world in reverse, Spirit? 7 of Wands, because you're defensive. Fair. Why are you defensive? Ace of Wands, because it was a bit much. Okay. Tell me more about the physical investment in this relationship. This is so interesting because the energy contributed to the conflict that wasn't yours. So I obviously initially read this as like, no, I was there. But I'm reading this as 4 of Pentacles now. And so perhaps there's an element of like stinginess. I'm not feeling greed. It feels like lack. It feels like desperation to keep what you have, and so you won't let go of anything, which is ironic because when we're not willing to let go of anything, we also can't move forward. Like I'm genuinely picturing the 4 of Pentacles like in the Rider-Waite, and like that guy can't lift anything else. He couldn't even get to the 5 to feel shame because he's very much stuck in that place. Sometimes we need to be stuck in that place, but this feels like there's an energy of lack. So within this connection, obviously, actually, now that we're looking at like the devil, in the other decks, judgment would be 21. So when I said 21, okay. It's an energy of lack. That really wasn't yours. You seem to have felt or feel, again, depending on where you are in the timeline, like a type of abundance, an ability to alchemize, a comfort with your own magic. Clarify these cards. I wouldn't get the question out, Spirit. Clarify the cards, please. Clarify the Pentacles for spot number 2 in this reading, Spirit. 10 of Swords. And that lack was spurred on by a lot of anxiety, perhaps even a past betrayal with somebody. 5 of Swords and some manipulation. Okay. So what wasn't yours was all of this, 5 and 10 of Swords. Okay. Which means you were in fire and water. You were bringing, so I'm definitely, let's see what this is. The energy contributed to the conflict that was yours. It's 2 of Cups reverse and the Fool in reverse. So maybe you were also operating from a place of lack. Let's clarify this. Sorry guys, I got a text message. I forgot to put my Do Not Disturb on. It is on now. All right. Sorry, I was just making sure the camera was still on. Sorry, guys. I don't know. Maybe that means something for somebody. Maybe you need to be able to focus. Maybe you have a lot of distractions. It's okay. This is recorded. You can always pause it and come back later or not at all. Don't worry. You don't need to fight through your own life to hear this. It'll be here. All right. You're not missing anything. I feel really guided to like, you're not missing anything. Not because I don't have anything to say, but because I believe that you're guided and protected, and that what is meant for you will show up for you when you're ready to take it. Which, if we're talking about a 4 of Pentacles energy that maybe you're still coming off of, like, yeah, give yourself a minute. All right? I'm hearing really check your Sagittarius placement. Somebody here is not a Sag Sun, and that's fine. Welcome. I'm not a Sag Sun either. I do love a Sagittarius, though. I like fire signs quite a bit personally, but that's neither here nor there. Okay. So, and I'm not a fire sign, but The energy contributed to the conflict that was yours. This is a lack of risk taking and a lack of like emotional connection here with this Two of Cups. So even though you were, it seems like you were showing up physically and not doing a manipulative betrayal, messing around, like you didn't show up in that way, which maybe your higher self was like aware of that. Let's clarify this Two of Cups and Fool in reverse for the Sagittarius that's watching, Spirit. The energy that they contributed to the conflict. Thank you. I got 2 here again. Like a nostalgia, a kind of a, oh, this is 9 of Cups. Okay, and an emotional independence. I'm getting blind choice. Blind choice. What is that blind choice? Death, transformation. You are bringing transformation. Clarify that death card. 5 of Wands. We're going to keep going. I'm starting to form a theory. A way in which the conflict was unavoidable. The conflict was unavoidable because there was no perspective and no healing. Like, just at its simplicity, somebody here was not willing to look at things from a different angle or see them from your point of view. They also weren't willing to do the work of the star, right? And we know that the star is what the hermit is holding in the lantern. We don't know that. I know that. That's my knowledge and belief about that. And so that means this person was not willing to spend some time alone or go within to find their inner wisdom, to trust their voice, to separate their voice from the cacophony of voices around them. Somebody here wasn't willing to do that. But they could have. There was a lot of healing here on offer. Let's clarify this. Who wasn't willing to do that? What made this, actually, here we go. What made this unavoidable? Excuse me. What made this avoidable? What would have led to this? Feels like communication. Queen of Wands, yeah. Some amount of intuition, teamwork. Look, we have 3 of Pentacles here too. Okay. Clarify 3 of Pentacles, 7 of Pentacles. Okay, and then that's the 10 of Pentacles. Okay. It's avoidable. Some teamwork, some intuition. Looking at, I mean, some teamwork and some hard work, let's be real. Also, the 7 of Pentacles is this kind of reflective energy, which I know, but for me, they are, the Hanged Man and the 7 of Pentacles are in a similar thread of energy. I would say, obviously, the Hanged Man is a more serious and spiritual form of that energy, obviously, but the Pentacles here is a version of that, as above, so below, right? So it seems like because this is in the upright and the Hanged Man is in reverse, it's like, I'm willing to see how hard I work for money. I'm not or how hard I've worked, or I'm willing to reflect on my monetary, material things, the things I can see. I'm not really willing to go within and do all of this, because that's a pretty dark card, right? Sometimes the new perspective we get is ugly, but it still has information for us. Okay, Sagittarius. I still don't, is this Sagittarius? With this Queen of Wands here, it makes me think this was you, Sag. And this may be the part that is difficult. This is, it's this feeling or this image of like, my head is down, I'm doing the things I was taught to do, I'm making money, or I'm going to school, or I've got this insert tangible item here. Where is this Sagittarius? I believe this is, but we have the Empress up there. Just call into me. It's calling to me, Sag. Is this Sagittarius? I'm hearing split the deck. Okay. 5 of Pentacles. Spirit. Sagittarius, you're the Magician. That's what I was saying, though, right? Like, there's an alchemy here that somebody wasn't willing to see. Somebody was not willing to see that. I, like, hands down, I just can't tell if it was you yet. It, perhaps, like, over here, like, you're not willing to take the risk and, you know, folie à deux this or something with somebody else. This is very, I don't know why I got folie à deux off of this, right? It's like this odd shared delusion is coming through pretty strong. You weren't willing to do that. That's fair. Because you're not codependent. Yeah, Sag, I don't think this is you down here. You had a choice. You chose to end it and fight. Like, fight for your right to party. Just kidding. Kind of. Okay. Spot number 5. The way to learn or improve from the part of the conflict that you contributed to. I don't know, Sag. Do you have anything to learn? And also, like, don't worry, we're going to get into this, but, like, why was this so difficult to bring to the surface? Because it feels like this makes a kind of sense to me. We'll get there. Okay. Let's clarify the 6 of Pentacles in reverse and the Empress. Because it cost you. Because the point of this was not to make this relationship work. The point was to get out of it maybe sooner. That 6 of Pentacles there just really spoke to me. Oh gosh. A way to learn or improve from the parts. Ace of Cups, Temperance, and 10 of Wands. Okay. So what I'm getting off of this is, I think maybe you stayed in this too long, Sag. Like, I think that's actually the point here. That's the thing that you have to own. So is it a situation, here we're going to ask the cards. Ace of Cups, Temperance, there's a balancing, you can have the strong feeling and hope for something. You should keep your hope, but you have to moderate it lest it become a burden. And this is, I said this in another reading, this is like, stop giving your cookies away, like your emotional and intellectual cookies, your energetic cookies away. Stop giving your energetic cookies away. And that's what this 6 of Pentacles too. Look at his little face. Okay. Forgiveness towards yourself in its healthiest, most productive form. Now, I think this is interesting. 6 of Swords in reverse. And I think I said this was 4 of Swords probably because it was upside down. And I am switching Roman numerals that are also upside down. Look at this. So, do you see how this child is holding on to both of those swords? Not maybe not for dear life, but definitely like steadying themselves. They're not in a boat, but she is looking over the water, right? They're kind of put into this. This is reminding me of the 8 of Swords a little bit, like almost like no, but there's room. And then we're looking at it in reverse. Upside down, where the sky is the water and the water is the sky. With the Tower in reverse. You don't need to reconcile this, Sagittarius. You need to stand firm. Sagittarius, this is so interesting because I don't often feel like this is an issue you have. Like, any Sagittarius I've known has been decidedly assured. Interesting. Decidedly assured. Assured of themselves in pretty specific ways. This one must have really gotten you. Let's clarify this 6 of Swords in reverse in the Tower. You are hearing the snowplow. I'm only half sorry. I'm glad they're plowing the roads. 6 of Swords reversed and the Tower reverse for forgiveness. Self-forgiveness for Sagittarius. Justice. A rebalancing. Chariot. Forward momentum. Fast forward momentum. And a 2 of Cups. Okay, Sagittarius, this is not that bad. What's going on? Okay, so look, we got a contract. It's pretty, I almost said it's pretty based. That's why I shouldn't use those words. It's pretty basic. It doesn't feel like it was even that complicated to you. Called judgment, made a decision, right? Put your defenses up. You were not contributing Interesting. You weren't doing manipulative stuff, but were you not showing up in the material? That's a switch from the way that I was kind of reading those earlier. We're connecting the story now, so bear with me. It's part of my process. But you weren't willing to take risks on this. You weren't willing to mind meld because you're an independent person. And yeah, you had it wasn't your wish fulfillment, or you are your wish fulfillment. There's something there. This piece is really interesting to me because it does point to some amount of introspection. Tell me about position number 4, Spirit. A way in which the conflict was avoidable. I'm still not quite, I mean, I can see, how is this conflict? How could we avoid this in the future? Maybe that's a better way to ask. What could have been different? How is this avoidable? Can I get a card for Sagittarius, please? Thank you, Spirit. Knight of Cups. Temperance. Well, this is beautiful. Okay, Sag, why am I telling you things you already know? Right? Why am I telling you things you already know? Look, Queen of Wands again. Sagittarius, I feel like you don't need this reading. So why are we here, Spirit? Let's just, thank you. The Emperor. Okay, well, who's the Emperor? Tell me more about the Emperor. Are you expecting a spin the block situation, Sagittarius? Are you expecting somebody to come back around? Because he looks like kind of a jerk. When your defenses are down. When you're vulnerable. You think it'll be a long time. Sagittarius. Okay, I'm going to tell you a thing that I tell a friend of mine and myself, to be very clear. This isn't exclusive, but anxiety, people are not going to like this. Because it feels like, what can I do about anxiety? I can't do anything about anxiety. You're right. But what you can do is do something about the place that your anxiety goes, right? So first things first, nervousness and excitement are technically like the same physiological feeling, right? Like there's a perspective issue, which we've kind of seen down here with this Hanged Man in reverse. This feels like jumping a timeline to the most anxious timeline. Like, I don't think you want this person back. So if you're listening to this and you're hoping that I'm going to say this person is coming back around, or you can't wait to do this all over again, which feels pretty awful, this is not your reading. There may be another one. I have other readings for other signs. I'm still building my channel, but like, this Sagittarius does not want this person to come back around. And I can see why. This feels pretty for Sagittarius specifically. Like, this would be difficult, I think, for anybody, but in this context, with this energy, this was a rocking of the foundation in a way that I'm hearing you cannot abide by. And you're right, you cannot abide by that. So Spirit, let's get some messages out. What's the first thing Sagittarius needs to know right now? What does Sagittarius need to know before we do anything else in this reading? I just got drawn to live, laugh, love, which, it's kind of funny. Live, laugh, love. I'm feeling guided to open this back up again and kind of bring some attention to the charms. Since, we've had those covered up. The A next to the little angel. It's candy cane. So what does Sagittarius need to know right now, Spirit? What's the first thing? Because I'm feeling the anxiety here. Well, you healed. So I think this is more to confirm or to provide you with some validation or some comfort. Is this person going to come back the way Sagittarius believes? Is this person coming? Thank you, Spirit. We do not chase, we attract. Neutral. Ah, okay. We do not chase, we attract. So I'm going to say no, because this is feeling, as we've gone through this, I see why the anxiety, why the block was here. I understand now. I said that in the beginning. As we've moved through this, it has become clear that like this was very hard, Sagittarius. Like I don't think I need to tell you that. I feel like I need to affirm that for you. This rocked you. This rocked your identity, and that's a hard thing for anybody. That's a hard thing for a Sagittarius. You guys are truth seekers. Truth seeking missiles. I'm hearing truth seeking missiles. Okay? And I'm also being guided to look at the thighs, legs. This is a point of stability, like in our astrological body. Sagittarius is the point of stability. It's what holds us upright. So for you to be rocked in such a way, this is like, I don't ever want to do that again. I'm never doing that again. And I hear you. What Spirit is trying to tell you right now is that first, we have to work through that anxiety, because when we're living in a state of this could happen and then this could happen and then this could happen and then I'll, lose this and then everything will fall apart and I'll be, whatever. When we're living there mentally, we are drawing that to us, and not in the kitschy, like law of attraction kind of way, but in the sense of you're putting yourself in a place where those fears are realized energetically before that has even happened. So first things first, that's the we don't chase, we attract. The other thing is that right now you're sitting at this tipping point, right? Which is why I think this reading needed to come out this way, this time for you, whoever's watching this. We're sitting at this tipping point, and that I believe that's the purpose of this reading. You did it. You got away from that. You learned your lesson. How could this, avoidability, temperance, moderation, holding back, letting things build slowly, like with this Knight of Pentacles, letting things come to fruition, not filling in the gaps. Again, whether this was a job, a contract, I mean, we know it was some kind of contract. I'm strongly getting some type of interpersonal relationship, like something that got close enough that it rocked you, because, the random guy at the grocery store doesn't usually do that to people. And if they do, you need help with that. And there are people who will help you 100%. But like, this is like somebody getting behind your defenses, somebody making their way, like I'm getting like weaseling their way in. I'm hearing wily. Okay. And right now, this is your tipping point. Am I going to live in this fear of this person showing up when my defenses are down, right? Oh, I pulled Knight of Cups. Because your intuition saw this. And so it feels like this person was like, you're not showing up, or you're not doing the thing in this relationship, but like, why would you? You were sensing this manipulation. You were sensing this five. Some part of you was understanding it, and you cut it. You recognized it was not healthy for you. Your intuition did the job. Don't let your fear ruin the job your intuition did, okay? And your magic, like your magic, your essence, okay? And that's, I think, why we're at this neutral. So in the same way, we don't chase, we attract, right? In the same way that you've moved out of this, sitting here in this fear is going to pull it back in. Okay? And like, that's like quantum stuff, I think, that that's out of my element. But this is making a kind of sense to me as we're talking through it about like, okay, if I am afraid, this is, okay. Interesting. Okay, so go with me. This is a little weird, and it's it's pretty metaphorical, but bear with me, okay? If you've ever seen a movie called A Series of Unfortunate Events, Meryl Streep's character in that, if you remember that movie from like back in the day, it's the leeches, right? Okay, so when the kids move in with her, this whole time she's like, don't touch that doorknob. The stove could ignite it and it'll shatter and take your eye out. And it's just like all of these weird fear things, right? And then as the house is going down in that storm, and the kids are there, everything that Meryl Streep's character, that weird aunt of theirs, everything that Meryl Streep's character said was going to happen, happened. So it's kind of a Cassandra effect. But I'm getting this in a different way. I'm looking at this as like Meryl Streep's character calling it in. I don't know. Or perhaps being so afraid of it that she boxed herself into the timeline where those things would come true. Because if we're operating out of fear, we will corner ourselves. Interesting. I hadn't really thought about it that way before. Okay, let's see. Why does this rub Sagittarius, Spirit? Why does this feel like a... I mean, I understand why it feels like a hit to the pride, but this feels even like... I don't know. Tell me more about this hit to Sagittarius's ego or their pride, or why is this sting so bad outside of the obvious? What are we missing here, Spirit? And then we're going to wrap it up because I think we have a pretty good... idea. Enlightenment is when the wave knows it's the entire sea. That's a quote. It's worth looking into. We are all one. Are you holding a grudge, Sagittarius? Which is like, it's to me, that's part of the grieving process. So there's no judgment from me here. But we definitely don't want to sit there because, again, we're going to pull that in. Enemies are gifts too if you let them be. So you can't find the gift about this? What's Sagittarius's advice, Spirit? Let's get some advice out for Sagittarius, and then we're going to wrap this up so they can go on about their day. It's feeling like somebody's got some business to attend to. And far be it from me to stop you from that. I get a couple of cards for Sagittarius on the advice, Spirit. Thank you. There's something here that's mathematical, or something that you could approach from the idea, like detached, unemotional in the sense of mathematics. That doesn't mean repress your emotions, compartmentalize them, and then pretend that they don't exist. This means there's something that you can look at as a mathematical equation. This plus this plus this equals this. And that's nobody's fault. It just is what it is. Upgrading structures to support new growth. This is a huge growth opportunity for you and your magic, Sagittarius. I really believe that. No, it's not nonsense. Sidestepping the inferno, but they can just follow the ashes. Yeah, it feels like whoever's watching this right now might still be in that space, and that's okay. You're allowed to be there. I genuinely, like, I'm not one to need to rush somebody to love and light or to happiness or whatever. It is all part of the process, and it will make the process longer to, like, beat yourself up about it the entire time. But Sagittarius, you know, like, you have a beautiful intuition in you, and you like, I'm getting, like, you serve a very important purpose in your life, obviously, but in the lives of those around you. And the wave knows it's the entire sea. That means that, you know, like a mesh or a net or a butterfly effect, right? Like, you change something by existing in this new state, by upgrading structures to support new growth. And I think that's really beautiful. All right, Sagittarius, thanks for being here with me today. I hope I helped you. I hope you have a great day. Good luck, and I'll see you next time.